Hello students, welcome to SR Concepts. I am Ravi Verma and in this video we will discuss about the topic hormones other than sex hormones. We had discussed in the previous videos that there are gonads known as ovaries and testes. The testes in male and ovary in female. These two organs produce the gametes which are the egg and sperms. But apart from production of the gametes, these glands also produce certain hormones known as sex hormones. These sex hormones regulate the proper development, the proper maturation of secondary sexual characteristics in our body. They are essential for normal functioning of reproductive system also. So, dear students, these two organs known as ovaries and testes, these are actually working as both gonads and endocrine glands. Now we will discuss about certain other glands in our body which are endocrine glands and which release their own hormones having their own functions. So dear students, we have already discussed what are endocrine glands. Here you can see a number of endocrine glands have been shown, for example pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas. These all are endocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? These glands produce the secretions known as hormones. These hormones are directly released into the bloodstream. After being released into the bloodstream, these hormones travel throughout the body and reach their target sites or target organs where they bring about changes. Right? So, every hormone after being released from the gland reaches a particular site, a particular organ where it brings about changes. So, we will discuss about these glands one by one, right? And I will discuss them in the same sequence as they are written in your NCERT textbook. For example, first of all, there is a mention of thyroid gland. Here you can see in bold thyroid gland is written. So here you can see that the thyroid gland is present in the neck region, right? This is the thyroid gland. So this gland produces its own hormone known as thyroxine hormone. This thyroxine hormone is actually very much important for normal functioning of all the tissues in our body, right? And in deficiency of this hormone, a disease develops that is called goiter. So someone's if some person's thyroid gland is producing the amount of thyroxine less than normal, then a disease known as goiter is developed, and in this disease you will see there is a big and bulging throat developed in the patient. So actually you might have listened the term iodine. An element is iodine. Iodine element is very important for the production of thyroxine hormone from the thyroid gland. So if you're taking lesser amount of iodine, if there is a deficiency of iodine in your diet, then you may develop this problem that is called goiter. Now there is another gland that is called pancreas. Here you can see the pancreas. The pancreas produces a very important hormone that is called insulin hormone. This is the insulin hormone. So insulin hormone released from the pancreas actually removes extra amount of glucose from your blood and stores it into the liver or inside the muscle cells, right? inside the muscles. So dear students, this insulin is very important for maintenance of normal amount of glucose in your blood. So in case the pancreas is not producing proper amount of insulin, then this function will not be happening, and then the amount of sugar, the amount of glucose in your blood may increase, and this situation is called diabetes. This disease is called diabetes. So if your pancreas is not producing sufficient amount of insulin, and because of this, if glucose amount in your blood is increasing, then the disease is called diabetes, right? Dear students, there is another gland known as adrenal gland. Here you can see adrenal. Why the gland is called adrenal? As you can see that these glands are present just like a cap over the kidney. So because the kidneys, the term renal is used for kidney, and ad means above. So ad means above and renal means kidney. So the glands which are present above the kidneys are called adrenal glands. These glands release a number of hormones, right? And the major function of those hormones is to maintain the salt balance in the body, right? To maintain the correct salt balance in the blood, right? So the hormones released from adrenal gland maintain the proper salt balance in your body. However, there is one more hormone known as adrenaline hormone. This is a very important hormone released from the same gland, that is adrenal gland. So this adrenaline hormone is actually, we can say, the stress hormone, because this hormone is important for managing the stress when you are very much angry, or when you are very much worried or embarrassed. So whenever you are in any emergency situation, or whenever you are very much worried, very much angry, then this hormone is released in a larger amount, and it is maintaining the stress. So this is also called the fight and flight hormone, because this is a very important hormone for managing the emergency situations, the stressful situations, right? So dear students, then we come to the growth hormone. This hormone is actually released from another gland, that is called pituitary gland. Here you can see, this is the pituitary gland, and this gland produces a hormone known as growth hormone, which is very much important for normal growth of an individual. So dear students, pituitary gland is also called the master gland. As you can see, this is connected to the brain, right? This is a master gland because the hormones released from the pituitary gland regulate the secretion of hormones from other glands. For example, certain hormone from the pituitary gland will be released, it will reach to the adrenal gland and give order to the adrenal gland that the adrenal gland should release its own hormones or not, right? So the release of hormones from other glands is actually managed, or we can say regulated or controlled by the hormones of pituitary gland, right? Okay, so dear students, we have learned about the pituitary gland. Now dear students, you know that hormones are being produced in human beings, but are they produced in animals also? Yes, hormones are produced in animals also, and they play the same type of important role in their bodies also. For example, the conversion of the metamorphosis in insects is regulated by certain hormones. They are called insect hormones, right? So dear students, first of all, we need to understand the term metamorphosis. You know that if we talk about the silk moth, if we talk about the frog, Then they have larval stages. For example, caterpillar is the larva of silk moths and tadpole is the larva of frog. The larval stages gradually convert into very much different type of individual, different type of adult individual. Means the tadpole is the fish like larva, and then it converts by drastic changes into an adult which is very much different from the tadpole, right? So dear students, what is metamorphosis? This is a conversion of of a larva into adult. So this process is called metamorphosis. If we talk about insects, this is controlled by insect hormones. In the same way, if we talk about frog, then metamorphosis is controlled by the hormone known as thyroxine hormone, which is released from its own gland, its own thyroid gland. So for in order for tadpoles to develop into frog, the release of thyroxine hormone is very important, but the tadpoles should be living in such a water where the amount of iodine is sufficient, because the tadpoles absorb iodine from the surrounding water, and this iodine is used for production of thyroxine hormone from their thyroid glands. So if the tadpoles are in such a water where there is no sufficient iodine, then the metamorphosis may be hindered because of less amount of thyroxine being produced in their thyroid glands. Okay, so dear students, now let's discuss about role of hormones, about reproductive health. So first of all, what is health? Health means being physically and mentally well. So if you are physically fit and mentally fit also, then you are healthy. Actually, the definition of health is the physical, mental, and social well-being. Means your body should be disease-free, your body should be physically fit, your mind should be fit, and your social harmony. It means socially how you are behaving with others, right? How you are dealing with others. Are you giving them proper respect? Are you maintaining the proper harmony, right? This behavior also comes into your health. If you are behaving properly, if you are thinking properly, and if you are physically fit, then only you will be said to be healthy. If you are mentally stressed, then again you will not be said to be healthy. So dear students, in order to become healthy, we need certain things. For example, we need a balanced diet, and we need to observe the personal hygiene, and we need to undertake adequate physical exercises, right? So if we talk about these, all things become very much important during the adolescence period, because during the adolescence period you are dealing with a number of stresses, and your body is in the growth stage when you need proper balanced diet. So if we talk about nutritional needs of adolescents, dear students, you know that during the adolescence period your body is growing very much rapidly, right? So diet for an adolescent is means need to be carefully planned, and this should be a balanced diet. You have already studied in class 6 that a balanced diet is such a diet which has proper amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats, along with the proper amount of all the minerals and vitamins, with water and roughage. So dear students, if we talk about a balanced diet, then our Indian meal, which includes roti, rice, dal, and certain vegetables, this becomes a complete balanced diet also. So in the same way, milk is also in itself a very good balanced food, having all sorts of nutrients in it. Fruits also provide you a lot of nourishment, especially the fruits provide you the sugars, carbohydrates, which give a lot of energy to you. Also the fruits provide you a lot of vitamins and minerals. If we talk about iron, this is an element which is required for the formation of red blood cells and hemoglobin in your body. So this is actually an element which is required for proper development of the blood proper functioning of the blood, we can say, right? So this is why we need to take iron rich food, and the iron rich foods are the leafy vegetables, jaggery, meat, citrus, Indian gooseberry, amla, right? These are the iron rich foods. You should take them, you should include at least one of them every day in your diet. Now you have to check the items in your lunch and dinner. Are they really balanced, right? Are they really very much nutritious for you? This is what you need to find out, right? You have to check that your dinner and lunch, your lunch and dinner include the cereals. Here you can see the cereals, certain cereals, right? For example, wheat is a cereal, right? So these cereals give you actually the carbohydrates, and carbohydrates give you a lot of energy. In the same way, if we talk about the milk, milk gives you almost all the nutrients. Meat gives you a large amount of protein. Nuts give you a large amount of protein, and oils, pulses give you a very large amount of proteins. So these all should be very important. They are very important and they should be included in your diet. Okay, so you need to think about them, which food is giving you which type of nutrients, and then you have to plan such a diet which includes all the nutrients. For example, you know that fats, for example deshi ghee, right, and mustard oil, these all are the fats. Actually deshi ghee is a fat, and the mustard oil is an oil. The fats are those which are solid generally at the room temperature, while the oils are liquid at the room temperature, right? So these fats and oils are actually very rich source of energy, so they give you a lot of energy, right? What about fruits and vegetables which are protective fruits? You know that fruits and vegetables are called protective foods because they build up your energy, immunity. They give you a lot of vitamins and minerals, and these vitamins and minerals are very much important for your immunity. So every day you should include at least one fruit in your diet, at least one or two fruits in your diet. So dear students, you know that today chips, namkeens, biscuits, and a number of fast foods are there. They are not good for your health. However, they may be eaten for taste, but they should not replace your normal diet. You should think about it. So never think that आज भूख लग रही है, आज केवल मैगी खाएंगे. I will not eat the normal food. This you need not to do, right? Next, you can see activity number 10.4. You may make a group of people. These may be your friends or these may be your family members. You have to monitor your diet for 2 or 3 days. You have to check which in lunch and dinner what they have taken, which ingredients are actually giving which type of nutrients, right? This all you need to do. So perform this activity number 10.4. This is very important. Again, the activity number 10.5 is given. You have to take the idea from these pictures, right? Here you can see the meat, vegetables, milk, right? These all you need to take, and you also need to collect certain information from some other sources. Then you make some chart, then you make some means advertisement like thing for nutrition, and paste them in your own home, or you may share it through social media to other persons also, right? So dear students, now lastly, what is personal hygiene? We should regularly take bath. This is a very important thing, especially during the adolescence. Your body may become smelly due to overactivity of the sweat glands. A number of bacteria and other pathogens may grow in your body, right, if you are not cleaning your body parts regularly. So every part, every organ of your body should be cleaned every day, right? And also the girls need to take very special care during the menstrual flow. So when there is menstrual flow, they need to change their sanitary pads regularly, right? And they must be using the sanitary pads or very clean, very clean cloth made homemade pads, right? They should be keeping the track of their menstrual cycle, right? They should be prepared in advance for the next or upcoming menstrual flow. Lastly, the physical exercise, taking a walk, going for a walk in open during morning or evening, or doing playing certain outdoor games is very important for you. And say no to drugs. Dear students, never take any medicine on advice of anyone. During these days, you may be feeling a number of problems in your body, a lot of stress, right? Some of your friend may offer certain tablet or capsule or any other thing to you, and he may say that you take it and you will be feeling relaxed, but never take any medicine, any drug on advice of anyone apart from the doctor's advice. If doctor is advising to take some medicine, then you take only, otherwise never touch any type of drug because they are addictive, right? Means once you will take this medicine, any such type of medicine which is giving you certain relax from the stress, again and again you will try to take it, right? You will become habitual of that. Lastly, a very important thing, that is AIDS is a disease, a very dangerous disease which is caused by a virus known as HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, right? And AIDS means autoimmune deficiency disorder, right? Sorry, autoimmune deficiency syndrome, right? So this is actually transmitted by using, by sharing the syringes, by sharing anything that cuts your blood, your body, and comes in contact with the blood, or it may pass from mother to an infant also, during the development of the child, and also it transmits by the sexual contact with such a person who is already infected with HIV. Finally, adolescence pregnancy is the topic which explains that you might be knowing that in India the legal age of marriage is 18 years for girls and 21 years for boys. So dear students, this is because if a girl marries before 18 years of age, and then if she becomes pregnant, then at that time, at that little age of 14, 15, right, she is not actually physically and mentally prepared for the motherhood, right? So this should not be done. Okay, so she cannot bear the responsibilities of the childhood, also she cannot have any employment during that period. So this is very important that the marriage should be done only at the correct age, which is at least 18 years for girls and at least 21 years for boys. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you learned the concepts, right? Keep learning, keep making your notes. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you really like it. Thank you.